All right, so I think my computer crashed. Which happens, you know? What can you do? Which means I also have to go through and quickly make sure that we are in the right place with regards to our platforms. Nice stream. Hello. Yeah, I think we died for a minute. Sometimes you know, the stream goes under. What can you do? What can you do? Looks like Twitter recovered nicely, though. Interesting. So Twitter recovered okay. YouTube never started. I wish it would, like, not kill. You can join back Discord if you want to hear my muted mic. Maybe I will. All right, let me see. I'm going to jump back to this. Man, it's going to be so hard to get all those bots I had back. You know what I mean? All right. I got to figure out where we were. I have a feeling Discord, because Discord crashed on me the other day. I have a feeling that Discord is one of the ones causing problems. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to switch to their web app next time. But their web app has other problems. Ooh, but YouTube decided to start working now, so that's good. Ooh, nice. Nice. Is it deployed? Am I live on the YouTube? Wow, a blessing in disguise. YouTube, the second time I went live, decided, hey, you know what? I'll actually make you live. Good on you, YouTube. Good on you. And now the title is slightly more accurate. Let's check the quick tweeter. Wow, I can't believe till... You know, it's fun. Someday I'll have this figured out and it'll just be a button click. But until then, wow. So much better this way. You get all the fun of trying to figure out if everything is broken and you don't know it yet. All right. How's my mic coming in? A little quiet, right? I think it's good. Nah, it might be a little quiet. We don't have dogs barking, so I can turn it up a tiny bit more now. All right. A little bit better. A little bit less shouting needed. Okay, where were we? I think we were around this diagram. Let's try to build an optical device that will solve both of these problems. We want a way to harness a bigger part of the energy radiated by the objects and also control what is blurry and how blurry it is. For the objects in the scene that are supposed to be sharp, we want to collect a big chunk of their light and make it converge to the smallest possible point. In essence, we're looking for an instrument that'll do something like this. So basically, you have this red point here is the object, and it goes into this device, and then it converges it down into this small point. We could then put the sensor at the focal point and obtain a sharp image. So this is the focal point where it converges to. Naturally, the contraption we'll try to create has to be transparent so that the light can pass through it and get to the sensor. So let's begin the investigation by looking at a piece of glass. In the demonstration below, I put a red stick behind a pane of glass. You can adjust the thickness of this plane with the grade slider below. Okay. Okay, it looks like we're kind of doing nothing. There's in 3D here, we have a pane of glass and a red stick, and we're really not doing much. When you look at the stick through the surface of the thick glass straight on, everything seems normal. However, as your viewing direction changes, the stick seen through the glass seems out of place. The thicker the glass and the steeper the viewing angle, the bigger the offset. So basically, if I go over here, there's like a big offset for the glass. So the glass is like distorting the light. Let's focus on one point of the surface of the stick and see how the rays of light radiated from the surface propagate through the subsection of the glass. The red slider controls the position of the source and the gray slider controls the thickness. You can drag the demo around to see it from different viewpoints. Okay. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, so that's like index of refraction stuff. I've never seen it like this though. So this is the light source, and all of these rays are coming out, and then it hits this glass, and it kind of like it kind of twists, right? It kind of twists towards the glass, like it kind of want to go with that that side that it went in. It kind of wants to go perpendicular to the side it came in with, and then it goes back to the way it was when it gets to the end of the glass, or it would seem that way. For some reason, the rays passing through the glass at an angle are deflected off their paths. The change of direction happens whenever the ray enters or leaves the glass. To understand why the light changes directions, we have to peek under the covers of classical electromagnetism and talk a little bit more about waves. It's impossible to talk about wave propagation without involving the time component, so the simulations in this section are animated. You can play and pause them by clicking the button in the bottom left corner. By default, all animations are enabled, but if you find them distracting or if you want to save power, you can globally pause all of the following demonstrations. Let's begin by introducing the simplest sinusoidal wave. Okay. Sine wave, we can change the, what do you call this with a sine wave? I guess you would call that the frequency, and then you would call this the, well, I don't know. This is just how fast time is passing. Oh, this doesn't change the frequency. So this changes how fast time passes. And this changes the frequency. Okay. Why does this zoom in when you change time? I don't know. Maybe that's or is it? I don't know. A wave like this can be characterized by two components. Wavelength, or lambda, is the distance over which the shape of the wave repeats. Period t defines how much time a full cycle takes. Frequency f is just the reciprocal of a period, and it's more commonly used. It defines how many waves per second have passed over some fixed point. Wavelength and frequency define phase velocity, v sub p, which describes how quickly a point on the wave, for example, a peak, moves. Okay, so the phase velocity is the wavelength times the frequency. The sinusoidal wave is the building block of a polarized electromagnetic plane wave. As the name implies, the electromagnetic radiation is an interplay of oscillations of electric field and a magnetic field. Okay, we got deep into some sciencey stuff real quick. In an electromagnetic wave, the magnetic field is tied to the electric field, so I'm going to hide the former and just visualize the latter. Observe what happens to the electric component of the field as it passes through a block of glass. I need to note that the dimensions of the wavelengths are not to scale. Okay, so let's just kind of talk about what we're looking at here. Electromagnetic radiation is the interplay of oscillations of electric field E and the magnetic field B. So basically, the electric field is on this E axis here, and then the magnetic field is on this B axis here. And both of these make up electromagnetic radiation, which is light, I think. In an electromagnetic wave, the magnetic field is tied to the electric field, so I'm going to hide the former and just visualize the latter. Observe what happens to the electric component of the field as it passes through a block of glass. I need to note that the dimension of the wavelengths are not to scale. Okay. Is this the second time he's mentioned that? Or did I reread a paragraph here? Oh boy. All right. So basically, it's coming in quick, it's slowing down, and then it's coming out quick again. Note that the wave maintains continuous at the boundary, and inside the glass, the frequency of the passing wave remains constant. However, the wavelength and thus the phase velocity are reduced. You can clearly see it from the side. Right. It's not so visible here, but from the side. Yo, how are the dogs? Whiny, mostly. I think the one of them, Penny, has tried running at the door a couple times. But they are good. They are good. I assure you. They're crying because they're needy for attention, but they get plenty of attention, I assure you. Just let them in. We can let them in. Hey, buddy. Ah! Very excited. Ah! Ah! Right. So this is definitely easier now. She is very cute. Yeah. But she's needy at the moment. It's because it's close to dinner time. So I think probably in 20 minutes, I'll feed them and see if that calms them down a little bit. Because we're going to have Jane on. And I hopefully want to get some YouTube content. We'll see. Sometimes I want YouTube content, but it never comes to fruition. So, I'm not too hopeful. You're going to tank everything. Oh, jeez. All right. She hungry. She is hungry. But, it's not even dinner time, She's always fed at the same time. This is a puppy, and I think it's, the energy level is unreal. Wakes me up every morning. But, Anyway, all right, what were we talking about? Notice the wave remains continuous at the boundary, and inside the glass, the frequency of the passing wave remains constant. However, the wavelength and thus the phase velocity are reduced. This might be the third time I've read that. Oh my gosh. The microscopic reason for the phase velocity change is quite complicated, but it can be quantified using the index of refraction, n, which is the ratio of the speed of the light, c, to the phase velocity of the light wave in that medium. N equals c over vp. So that's the index of the refraction, which water has an index of refraction, and I guess so does glass. Makes sense. The higher the index of refraction, the slower light propagates through the medium. In the example below, I presented a few different indices of refraction for some materials. So we got a vacuum is 1, so that's what, it's usually like. Air is 1.003. Light is being refracted right now. Oh, we're reading about cameras. Yeah, and lenses. I'm just dog sitting this puppy. This isn't my puppy. I'm just using it to get my dating profile pictures, and then I'm out of here. Glass has 1.53 as its index of refraction, and diamond has 2.43. Just quite a bit. Don't chew in cords. Light traveling through the air barely slows down, but in a diamond, it's over twice as slow. Now that we understand how the index of refraction affects the wavelength in the glass, let's see what happens when we change the direction of the incoming wave. Change the direction of the incoming wave? Oh, so that's N. So I'm adjusting N with this black slider. So this is like a diamond. Gets thick. It always kind of comes out the same way. I wonder what they're leading into here. Looks like he's your best friend. Yeah, I don't know. Ups and downs to a puppy, The wave in the glass has a shorter wavelength, but it still has to match the positions of its peaks and valleys across the boundary. Whoops. As such, the direction of the propagation must change to ensure that continuity. I need to note that the previous two demonstrations presented a two-dimensional wave, and since that allowed me to show the sinusoidal component oscillating into the third dimension. In the real world, light waves are three-dimensional, and I can't really visualize the sinusoidal component without using the fourth dimension, which has its own set of complications. The alternative way of presenting waveforms is to use wavefronts. Wavefronts connect the points of the same phase of the wave, for example, all the peaks and valleys, in two dimensions. Wavefronts are represented by lines. Okay. I guess I understand this. Maybe. In three dimensions, the wavefronts are represented by surfaces. In the demonstration below, a single source emits a spherical wave. Points at the same phase in the wave are represented by moving shells. Okay. All right, I got to get going. If you're still on later, I'll stop by. All right, Dat Boy, thanks for stopping by. By drawing lines that are perpendicular to the surface of the wavefront, we create the familiar rays. In this interpretation, rays simply show the local direction of the wave propagation, which can be seen in this example of a section of a spherical 3D wave. This is a spherical 3D wave. By drawing the lines that are perpendicular to the surface of the wavefront, we create the familiar rays. Okay. Okay. I think it's showing how you kind of translate what we were just looking at into the rays that we're kind of used to. I'll continue to use the ray analogy to quantify the change in the direction of light passing through materials. The relation between the angle of incidence, represented by, I forget what this one is, theta 1, and the angle of refraction, theta 2, can be formalized with the equation known as Snell's law. Refraction index 1 times sine of theta 1 equals refraction index 2 times sine of theta 2. Okay. And theta is the angle of incidence. Theta 1 is the angle of incidence, and theta 2 is the angle of refraction. I don't remember what the angle of refraction is. I'm not sure if we talked about it. The angle of incidence is the angle where it comes in from. So the angle of refraction, I think, is the one it goes out of. It describes how a ray of light changes direction relative to the surface normal on the border between the two different media. Let's see it in action. Okay, so that's the angle of incidence, how it comes in. And then that's the angle of refraction. So the angle of refraction is how it is how it goes in from the inside. And we can adjust a couple parameters here. Oh, how can we adjust this one? How's this? Oh, okay. So these parameters can be changed in a couple different ways here. But yeah, I mean, makes sense. So it's dependent on the index of refraction out here. The index of refraction in here basically determines how these angles change. When traveling from a less to a more refractive material, the ray bends towards the normal, but when the ray exits the object with a higher index of refraction, it bends away from the normal. Notice that in some configurations, the refracted ray completely disappears. However, this doesn't paint a full picture because we're currently completely ignoring reflections. All transparent objects reflect some amount of light. You may have noticed the reflection on the surface of a column lake or even on the other side of the glass demonstration at the beginning of the previous section. You've made the header for your personal site? Hit us up. Share. If you want to, or don't. Have you ever heard of ngrok? Yeah. You can use ngrok if you have that. Nope. It's pretty cool. Short detour to explain ngrok. Ngrok is a way of, if you have something running locally, like a local web server, you can make a public URL for it real quick. It's very nifty. Okay. All transparent objects reflect some amount of light. You may have noticed that on the reflection of the surface of a calm lake or even on the other side of a glass demonstration at the beginning of the previous section. The intensity of that reflection depends on the index of refraction of the material and the angle to the incident ray. Here's a more realistic demonstration of how light would get refracted and reflected between two media. So this is more realistic? Oh, because there's that reflection. Gotcha. So a little bit goes out, some of it goes in. Yeah, and Grok is free, I think, too. The relation between transmittance and reflectance is determined by the Fresnel equations. Observe the curious case of missing light that we saw previously no longer occurs. That light is actually reflected. The transition from partial reflection and refraction to the complete reflection is continuous, but near the end it's very rapid, and at some point the refraction completely disappears in the effect known as total internal reflection. The transition from partial reflection and refraction to the complete reflection is continuous, but near the end it's rapid. Near the end. Total internal reflection. Okay. The curious case of the missing light that we saw previously no longer occurs. The light is actually reflected. Interesting. The critical angle at which the total internal reflection starts to happen depends on the indices of refraction of the boundary materials. Since that coefficient is low for air but very high for diamond, a proper cut of the faces makes diamonds very shiny. So is there a way for me to adjust this to have total internal reflection? Where it all reflects? Is that it? Well, interesting on its own, reflection in glass isn't very relevant to our discussion, and for the rest of the article, we're not going to pay much attention to it. Instead, we'll simply assume that the materials we're using are covered with high-quality anti-reflective coating. Okay. And it looks like he might have a... I'm really curious how that works. Manipulating rays. Let's go back to the example that started the discussion of light and glass. When both pieces of glass are parallel, the ray is shifted, but it still travels in the same direction. Observe what happens to the ray when we change the relative angle of the surface of the glass. My VS Code is bugging out today. Yeah, switch to atom. The photon gets entangled with the electrons at the surface, but also quantum tunnel through the glass, and the mass of the glass slows down time, and that's why light blends in glass. I cannot dispute that, but that we did not talk about any quantum entanglement. But I can't really dispute that. It sounds pretty smart to me. Whew. When we make two surfaces of glass not parallel, we gain the ability to change the direction of the rays. Oh, look at that. Recall, we're trying to make the rays hitting the optical device converge at a certain point. To do that, we'll have to bend the rays in the upper part down and conversely bend the rays in the lower part up. Are you saying we need to create some kind of lens? Let's see what happens if we shape the glass to have different angles between its walls at different heights. In the demonstration below, you can control how many different distinct segments a piece of glass is shaped to. Yeah, makes sense. That's not really converging on a point, though. I guess it is. I just got to get the angle right. But it's converging in one dimension on a point there. As the number of segments approaches infinity, we end up with a continuous surface without any edges. If we look at the crossover point from the inside, you may notice that we've managed to converge the rays across one axis. But the top-down view reveals we're not done yet. To focus all the rays, we need to replicate that smooth shape across all possible directions. We need rotational symmetry. All right? Yeah. We've created a convex thin lens. This lens is idealized, But in the later part of this article, we'll discuss how real lenses aren't as perfect, but for now, it'll serve us very well. Let's see what happens to the focus point when we change the position of the red source. Okay, so we're gonna move around the red source. All right. Looks like if you get really close, the lens converges way out there, but if you get further away, it converges much quicker. SI, very small if SO is very large. It's total baloney, but it sounds scientific. It definitely sounded scientific, Cryogy. Going for 80% width. Okay, so you have a deployment here. Let's take a look at Jack Law's website. Very cool. I'm assuming I didn't hit it. What did I do wrong? Did you take it down? Or did I? Well, somehow I pasted a URL wrong. I don't know how I did that. Yeah, JL. It's hot. What font is that? Looks good. I gotta get my energy up. I'm on a coffee fast right now, so I can't drink any coffee. Verdana. Verdana is it's a solid font, I think. I like Inter, as we've probably discussed, but Verdana's cool. Use Inter. Inter's the best. I love it. Okay, guys, I got to do a little bit of last minute coordination because I didn't coordinate how this call with Jane was going to go down. And we're going to have Jane come on in a minute here. I told her I would take 3 hours, warm up the stream, get, 50, 100 viewers online, which I did successfully. So I'll just message her, say, hey, all the viewers are ready. There's a huge crowd. You should be nervous. All right, let's do some zooming. Zoom has also been known to crash my computer, so we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Whoops. Why am I using Zoom and not Discord? Guys, Discord is not that popular outside of the gaming empires. Okay, done. I'll use Inter. I love Inter. Yeah, I think it's a great font. Oh, I've been reading this, but some of it has not been on screen. That's unfortunate. When the source is positioned very far away, the incoming rays become parallel, and after passing through the lens, they converge at a certain point away from the sensor. That distance is known as the focal length. So SI is the focal length. And it's the distance from the lens, basically. The center of the lens. The previous demonstration also shows 2 or more general distances. S sub 0, which is the distance between the object, I guess it's S sub O, which is the distance between the object and the source, or source and the lens. The object or source and the lens. As well as SI, which is the distance between the image and the lens. These 2 values in the focal length F are related by the thin lens equation. Wait a second. Did I misunderstand what focal length is? I thought SI was the focal length. The incoming rays become parallel, and after passing through the lens, they converge at a certain distance away from the center. A certain distance away from the center. The incoming rays become parallel, and after passing through the lens, they converge at a certain distance away from the center. Huh. Well, I know how to compute the focal length from these. Why didn't they draw out the focal length? Wait a second. Guys, is anyone else confused? 1 over SI is the distance between the image and the lens. But down here, it's kind of making it sound like it's the focal length. Focal length of a lens depends on both the index of refraction of the material from which the lens is made of and its shape. Okay. Okay, so it's saying okay, I see what it's saying. Okay, so if SO is infinity, then SI is the focal length. And they're showing how the lens, if you change the lens, the index of refraction, some other stuff, the thickness of the lens, that focal length comes in. Zoom is for professionals. That's true. Fix the mic. Is my mic sensitive? Oh, Zoom always messes up my mic. Hold on. Actually, we're not going to use Zoom because I forgot Zoom messes up my mic. Okay, mic should be better, right? Hello, mic. Mic check. I think the mic is better now. Yeah, we can't use Zoom. Forgot about that. Jack has sent us a new font. That kind of stinks. That's going to ruin my YouTube. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Nice. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit tricky. So I got to figure out a way to get them onto. Let's delete this. And let's find a different link here. Google Hangouts doesn't mess up my mic. Might have other problems. Let's go ahead and try it. How do you create a new Google Hangout? Interesting. I should probably know how to do this. I went to hangouts.google.com. It has phone call and message. It says I have to enter a name or email address, but I just want like a one that anyone can join if they have the link. Is that not something that's allowed? Google Hangouts, man. What are you guys doing? Why are you so hard to use? This is why nobody likes you anymore. Okay. We'll try this again. Well, I'm a little torn. What's the easiest way to create a Google Hangout? Coordinating with Jane right now, guys. Oh, what should I put over here? We're just going to keep this visualization up. Okay. Maybe this will work. Cameras take pictures. Lesson complete. Thank you for summarizing so neatly what was everything we've covered so far. You know, it's kind of a shame. I think we're pretty close, but we might not get to the end. Yo, Jane, what up?
Oh my god, you're loud.
Am I coming in loud?
Google doesn't level your audio like Zoom does. Also, I don't like my video in Google Hangouts because on Zoom you can like touch up your appearance, and now I appear very.
Okay, so I literally opened that Zoom link, but the thing is Zoom adjusts. I don't know why Zoom adjusts my microphone settings on my computer, and so like everyone in the stream got like the crunchy voice.
Sure.
Okay, hold on 1 second though. So can I put you on stream?
Right now?
Yeah, for sure. We're on stream.
Oh my god.
But only your voice right now.
Wait, let me change my.
There's a lot of people watching too. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitch. This is huge.
Wait, you're on YouTube?
Yeah, we're on YouTube. If you want, one of the things we could do is go through all of the things. And by the way, I don't have video on your screen because like it's like on I think Windows and Linux, you can't use the webcam on two different things at once, but you can use the microphone. So that's why my face isn't showing.
They'll just be seeing you and hearing both our voices.
What you can do is if you can go to the stream and you can mute it, and you'll see a delayed version of my face if you want to see like, me laughing 4 seconds behind. So that's the way to do that. Okay, it's not great.
I was gonna fix the curtain behind me, but if my video is not on, that's fine.
Yeah, we're gonna get Jane's volume up, guys. Can you turn your volume up, Jane? You're coming in real quiet.
Oh my god, I do hear me. That's so weird. Okay, yeah, you can put me on.
Okay. First, I gotta like pin you. Let me see. I don't usually use Google Hangout. Okay, I'm pinning you. Okay, we're gonna do like kind of a custom thing here. All right, so let's get Jane on there, but not too big. Let's not get her too big, right? I am the important person here. All right, hold on. Or no, we're both important people. What am I talking about? All right.
Oh my god. Wow, secret out.
Okay, hold on. Let's get a decent background. You know what? Let's start from scratch. Okay, so we got a black scene. We're gonna throw me here. Dog in view. Okay, when I face this way, that's facing you. Okay, perfect. Okay. And then let's see, how can I get you in here? Let's do this. That doesn't work, okay. Yeah, this isn't so organized, Jane. I don't know if you've seen my stream before.
I've seen playbacks of your stream. I was watching your latest code one today, actually. It got like 177 views.
177 views. You know why? I lied to people, Jane. I told them this is going to be a 24-hour stream, and then it wasn't. So that was my master plan, and it worked brilliantly.
Oh, I am in the video. You lied.
Yeah, now you are. It's kind of weird though. As far as like, it's like a Google Hangouts window. I'm really gonna have to kind of cut this up for the YouTubes later. All right, what do you think though? What do you think of the scene? Chat, let me know. How is the look? Why not use StreamYard? Somebody's saying we need to use StreamYard. I think your volume might be too low for me too. Let me see if I can do that. Jane, could you give us like a deep monologue for a couple minutes?
Yeah, sure. So today is Thursday, and I was originally gonna have like a bunch of meetings this afternoon, but fortunately, 2 of them got canceled, and they were both like an hour long. So I ended up with a very free afternoon and chatted with one of my colleagues about potentially starting his podcast through our company. And yeah, I won't give too much away, but yeah, someone told us to use StreamYard.
Is that what you use? You use something, right? Something custom?
I just use Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Or Instagram. Like for last time I've used Instagram.
Yeah, I maybe should have tested that microphone thing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
It's so weird seeing us like 5 seconds delayed.
Yeah, it's not the neatest interface. We'll get to the bottom of it. I'm gonna have to like not look at it as well. Okay, so here's my plan, Jane. Here's my master plan. So what we can do Okay, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold
Oh
on.
my
So
god.
can we can listen to it on stream, right? That'll work, right? You're not gonna DMCA me, right? Right, Jane? You wouldn't
No,
do that, would you?
we'll see. Depends how big you get.
Depends how big I get. Depends how much money you can get out of it.
So, are these people watching? Are they your friends or just like
I don't know.
general?
Who are you people watching? Jack's from
Introduce
New England,
yourself.
so
Okay.
some of them are from far away. We've only met via stream. Um, as for YouTube people, I don't care about them. They never talk to me. So, are we friends, Sevi Ibar? Jerix, I don't know. I don't know. Look, guys, we got to focus on Jane for a little while, okay?
Definitely.
All right.
Right.
This is Jane's moment.
There's some
She is
drama in the
she is on
sidebar.
the Sevi Ibar stream. This is a big deal, guys. Okay, Jane, can I
It's a big
start?
deal.
Okay, can I start with like some icebreaker questions?
Okay.
Okay, so my first question is like, do you think that it's unethical to have a call, say like a call with someone from a dating app on stream without them knowing?
Yeah, definitely unethical.
Okay, but hold on. What if their
No.
voice is not there? It's only my voice. Still unethical?
That's weird.
Okay, delete
But
the
yeah,
vibe.
still unethical because you're having a conversation with them. I don't know. That's like on borderline, but that's just weird. Like,
It's just weird. You
who does
shouldn't do
that?
it. You shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who it's for.
Cryogy thinks it's a felony.
It could be a felony. I should probably delete that video.
Wait, is it published?
Oh yeah, no, it's out there. Should we watch it? You want to listen
Yeah.
in?
Is that a felony?
For you to listen now. I don't know. Now
I
we're
don't
getting
wanna
into
be
complicated stuff. Jane, the thing we're here to talk about today is you have created a podcast.
Yes.
And it's a pretty cool podcast. What is this podcast about?
Well, it's an interview series where I talk with amazing people like Sev, like yourself, about their life stories and their work.
Cool.
The tagline is Inside Out with Jane, real stories of badass millennials living out their dreams and how they got there.
Oh, so good. So the episode before me, I think my favorite episode is the episode before me where you're talking to like Jen, who's your sister, but also like big YouTuber, right? And like I don't know. I thought the dynamics of that were really interesting. So if you guys want to check out that app as well, that one is out there.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So how do we find this, Jane? Because I'm googling Inside Out with Jane.
With Jane Z.
Can you say Jane Z? Okay, all right, we got it.
Yeah,
We
I'm
got
not like SEO ranked yet, just because it's so new. There we go. Apple Podcasts. We like that.
Boom. Okay, guys, here it is. The early stage startup grind with AI startup founder Sevi Ibar. Prior to that, we have growing up in front of 2.6 million people with Jennifer Zhang. Pretty cool stuff. Jane, can I be totally honest with you? I did not plan out what we were going to talk about today, but I figured.
Sounds like you.
Yeah, definitely. But I figured we could hop around this episode, maybe give
Yeah.
a little commentary on a couple of the clips. There's a lot of fun stuff we talk about. And
Can I just say too that I had trouble coming up with the name because like the early stage startup grind is like part of what I think of when I think of you and your life, but it's not exactly what we talked about. We definitely jumped around a lot. You complained about like talking about your upbringing, and then you talked about your upbringing, which was cool, I guess. And it's a lot of well, we talked about RPI and then work and college AI. I guess it was a lot of startup-y stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't sure if it did justice to our conversation.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
did you think when you saw that?
Well, it reinforced what I already knew about myself, which is I like can't keep like a straight narrative going. Like my story arcs are all over the place. As far as no, I definitely know what you mean. Like I don't even know if what we talked about was like chronological, just because I wanted to jump around a lot. So it's kind of a problem. And there's a lot of people like that in podcasting that I've seen who kind of jump around a lot. So yeah, I don't know. Something to work on. But I thought it was fun. I mean, the whole conversation was very fun.
Yeah, and you were the first interview I did for this podcast.
That's right. That's right.
So.
And you edited the hell out of it. If you hadn't edited so much, it would have been a much different episode, I think. I think after it, I sent you a message and I was like, Jane, we should redo this. I was really worried about it.
Someone asked, did you listen to the end product? Also, is it sunny in your place? How is it still sunny?
No, I think I just have like a lamp.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, I'm out of
'Cause
Boston.
when you moved out, it looked like a
How's the weather in
sun shadow.
Boston, Jane?
Dark and gloomy.
Oh,
Oh, you're not in Boston. That's right.
that's right. I'm
Maybe
far
you do
away.
have sunshine still. Are you in Florida? I bet you're.
I'm not in Florida. I haven't revealed my state. I like to keep things a mystery. See if chat
It's
can
not
figure
that
it
hard
out.
to guess.
I did listen to the end product. It's very good. I think we'll listen to a couple clips from it. See how that goes. It might get blasted because of my audio adjustment, but we'll see. We'll see.
Also, well, yeah, you can just play it.
One thing I'm curious about, Jane, is you went into podcasting. You have a podcast.
Yes.
Why not a live stream?
I mean, we're doing a live stream. I'm not saying no.
That's true. That's true. And you've live streamed from Instagram, is that right?
Yeah, I did that for the first time last week.
What was that like? Can we view that?
You can view it. Yeah, it's on. You guys should follow at Inside Out with Jane on Instagram, and you can check out that live stream, which was similarly chill, but there was a bunch of questions that came in, so we like mostly did a Q&A.
Okay, let's find it. Let's find the Instagram. Let's take a
Oh
peek.
my god, let's not.
One of the things that's pretty annoying right now is I can't not cover your face. So maybe we need a little bit more screen adjustment here. I'm gonna make both of us a little bit smaller.
All right.
It's gonna be impossible to put into a proper YouTube. That's fine though. That's fine though. I'm learning.
fine.
All right,
don't-
that's what
I
I
don't
tell
need
my
to be
stream.
YouTube.
It's a little disorganized. I'm learning. You know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna be on the side here. Perfect, perfect. So what did you use to broadcast? Did you do it right from your phone?
Yeah, I used my phone. I just put it on my desk with my leaning against my glass. And yeah, I did it. I was actually asking Jen today if I should get a circle light, a ring light.
Oh yeah, those are huge.
Yeah, because I have this lamp and I don't think it is doing the right thing.
All about it, so I don't actually understand the circle lamp. If you have a circle lamp, doesn't it show like a bright light in your eyeballs?
Yeah, so the idea is that it like takes out all shadow, so it like lights you up really well. It's supposed to like be really flattering on your skin, and
Is it
and
a
then it
warm
makes
light?
your eyes brighter.
It's configurable. So you can have a warmer light, a whiter light, is that right?
I think so.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
you can change the tone of it, but the point is that like it's like a full face lighting.
Boom. Okay, I have found the Instagram. Let's paste that. Give her a follow, guys. It'll go up by. Oh, geez.
That's
It's
my
not going to go up
personal-
by much,
Like,
Jane.
it's in my bio.
Oh, it's also in your bio.
It's-
Oh, nice.
I'm
Boom.
pointing to the screen, but you can't see it. It's right there.
OMG. Okay, so how do I see the live cast?
Oh my god, click on. Okay, go to Inside Out with Jane. It's in my
Oh, it's not
bio.
here.
Just
I went to
click
the wrong
that link.
profile. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Oh, it's not
just
here. I went to
click
the
that
wrong
link.
profile. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
click
Okay.
that link in
Oh,
my
it's this one. It's
bio.
this one.
Oh
This
my
one. Oh
god.
my gosh. Wrong links,
It's
guys.
linked right
Okay.
there.
All right. All right. Fix. Okay.
Okay, there we go. And then it's the third square.
Oh, nice. Is this from, what's this from? Is this from when we recorded?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. So
Actually, I
bright.
hacked it a little bit. It wasn't the exact time codes, but I made sure they both look good.
Fair. Okay. How do we see
Yeah.
the
Are
live
you
though?
not following my page? Okay, you are. Thank God.
Whew,
We were gonna have a talking to.
that was at risk there. Is this it? This is the live one, right?
Yeah, that one.
57 minutes. Okay. Phone
Yeah,
propped.
it's pretty long.
Can we drop in
Yeah,
for a
phone
segment? Or is that weird?
What do you mean?
What happened? What happened?
You have to skip forward. I was like waiting
Hi,
for people
Jeremy.
to come on for the first few minutes.
Yeah,
Thanks.
So Instagram lets
This is
you
so weird.
put these live streams right on top of each other. Is that right?
Yeah, you can have multiple. You can have two people for sure. I think maybe even three, or maybe two. But yeah, what happens is you go live, you invite someone, they accept, you do the live stream. They have like Q&A features too, so you can like grab questions. And then once you're done, you can either save the video or delete it, or just share it directly to IGTV. Which
Okay.
is what I did. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So maybe we got to get on the Instagram game. We're on the YouTube game. So Jane, I want to show the stat. Are you familiar with the stats right now? How big this stream is at the moment?
Well, it says 6 people.
Yeah, we got 6 in Twitch, but hold on. Let's check the YouTube. All right.
Do you think it's gonna be higher or lower?
Oh, it's gonna be lower. Meta podcasting with Jane Zhang. Let's see. All right.
Do you think but that is cool that you can live stream to both locations.
Yeah.
At the same time.
I'm gonna play all the
Whoa,
platforms.
this is so meta.
I think
Can you put a third on?
but I think nobody's
Wait,
watching because
Okay.
I don't see any viewers. I don't know if
You have
YouTube
any
shows it.
subscribers?
And then we got Twitter going on. All right, let's check Twitter. Let's
Wait,
see what's
Twitter
going on
does
Twitter.
live stream?
It does it through Periscope, and it's probably the worst platform,
What?
honestly. And we've got 0 over here. So we have got 6 on Twitch, and that is it. So quite a bit of pressure. Quite a bit
Yay.
of pressure.
No, it's cool. It's like a little hangout.
Jack says actually famous, which is true.
Is Jack your actual friend?
Jack, me and Jack have never met in real life, but Jack comes on and to our Discord and talks with me on stream. So there's a couple people who come in and just like kind of talk when I'm doing like these long streams, and it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Can have some combos. It's almost like a podcast, except again, very low content density, you know?
Yeah, very low. Kind of like Joe Rogan, but his is like a little more.
I think his is higher. I think Joe Rogan has pretty high content density. Yeah.
Yeah. Considering it's a live stream.
Yeah. Is Joe Rogan? He's not live streaming anymore, though. I think he's on Spotify now. Is that right?
I mean, technically, yes, but he still cross posts on everything else.
How do you feel about Joe Rogan?
I like him. I really admire what he's doing.
Yeah.
I think he's had a lot of success because he's built up audiences in like all the different interests he has. Like he has his UFC audience, and then his stand-up comedy stuff, and then
Fear Factor,
all the like health stuff. Fear Factor. I didn't even know he did that. And he was an actor at one point, did like TV shows.
I think he hosted it. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. Fear Factor, Joe Rogan. He had hair, so it's like.
So it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. See? That's what he looked like.
Wow.
It's a long time ago.
Oh.
Does he have some makeup on there? It looks like he might have something on his eyes.
Does.
Yeah.
I think he's got eyeliner. No, I really like Joe Rogan. And I think that he's approachable enough that anyone can go in and like get what someone wants to say. Like someone who comes on his show, there's like, it's no pressure, right? He doesn't like grill them. It's not like a journalist like jabbing you with questions. Like It's very much just an unfiltered conversation. And I think that's kind of maybe that's informed live streaming. I'm not sure.
Yeah, sure. Like today, even, I was thinking I should come up with an agenda. And then I thought Joe Rogan doesn't go in with an agenda. Although sometimes he
Well,
might
he
have like a
does
couple
think
things.
about what he wants to talk
He does
about.
research his guests and have
Yes.
subjects to bring up.
It's just kind of like an agenda.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's like a step below where he's been doing it for so long that he doesn't need to write it down. It's like all in his head.
Yeah. Yeah. You get good.
Yeah.
You get good over time, and then you can just
Exactly.
roll with it. Fair enough. So, Jane, the audience wants to know, how do we know each other, right? Where did it begin?
Did the audience ask that, or did you ask that?
I just came up with it. I'm trying
Okay.
to.
Well, I actually mentioned it in the intro of the podcast, but we can give the full story. So, as I remember it, we both were one of the first, or some of the first teams, startup teams, to move into this new startup incubator space in downtown Boston called GSV Labs. And this was what, 2018? 2018. And the space was like pretty much empty, and they were still like putting up walls and putting in furniture and stuff. But me and Ryan and my team, so we were working on a startup called Room to Learn, and there was you and Joey. You guys were kind of diagonally across from us, and we would say hi. I think we were introduced through Bree or someone, I can't remember. But then we just like organically started talking, and I went through my phase of like startup down spiral, and around the same time you guys were like, oh, like we need someone to help out with non-technical things. And we had a conversation, I remember, at this like hole in the wall taco place in Central.
Hole in the wall
Kendall.
taco place. I don't remember this.
Do you remember that? It was like on Mass Ave by MIT.
I love moments, right? So right now you're describing a moment, right? Like is like because like people have transitions in life, but there's every transition has like a moment when the transition happens. Like it's not slowly most of the time. You don't like drift towards a big change, right? There's like a moment where it changes. So now that we've built it up, we're in a weird taco place, a dingy taco place.
Look, can I interrupt? Because, like, yes, the moments are important, and it's like everything leading up to that moment that allows that moment to happen.
Okay.
We're getting a little meta, but this is titled Meta Podcasting. So
It's
I
true.
figured, like, it involved us both being in the same co-working space. It involved me having, like, being in a bad place with my startup. It involved you guys also having struggles, and then us all wanting to get tacos. So anyway, we go and get tacos.
So there was a bad day. Wait, this all happened in the same day, and then we went and got tacos?
No, I think it was like over the course of a few weeks, we like got to know each other a little bit. And then it was like, okay, I think maybe you messaged me and you were like, Jane, do you want to be our CEO?
Oh, yeah. That probably happened. Yeah.
And then that taco dinner was like the official proposal.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, this is a big moment. You would think I remember this. Okay.
You would think you remember this. But guys, this is how much Sev asked people to be CEOs. You're like Oprah with cars.
That's a good point. I remember that because me and Joey, we were both like technical founders, and we didn't want to be CEOs. So we were probably looking. I think we even said we were going to Boston. We were going to find somebody to be a CEO because neither of us really wanted to do it, and we actually traded the role at one point because neither of us felt like we were really doing it right, and yeah, that was tricky. But then you said no.
Yeah, I said no because, well, for many reasons. Like, I didn't think I was the right fit. But long story short, I still ended up working with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like almost the whole year, half a year.
Yeah, a long time.
But yeah, that was a blast. That was fun.
Wow, I can't believe I forgot that. Yeah.
I can't believe you forgot that too.
Yeah, that's actually like a big moment.
Yeah. Well, okay, what do you remember about how we met?
Oh man, it's you know, honestly, I remember a lot about meeting Ryan, who was working for you at the time. Me and Ryan were always chilling. Whew. Yeah, actually, what I remember. Oh my gosh.
Wow. I'm not part of your memories at all.
I don't remember at the beginning. I don't know why. Why wouldn't I remember the beginning stages as much? We were in this co-working space. We were working closely together. And like I guess like we might have been looking at your current startup at the time. Which can we say it? What it was? Can we look at it?
Yeah. We can look at
is
it.
up?
And actually it's very timely because I'm about to shut it down soon.
Oh, nice.
I haven't set a
Last
sunset
hurrah.
date yet.
Guys, it
I'm
takes
paying way
a
too much
lot
for-
to shut down a startup. Let me tell you. So it takes a lot
We're
more.
We're gonna keep the blog alive though.
Oh, that's good.
But,
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Voila. Room to learn.
Okay, can I reverse pitch Room to Learn?
Yeah, please.
Or is that even appropriate? If this is like the last showing of Room to Learn in
No,
some
no,
sense?
please go ahead. I would be
So
entertained.
you're a teacher and you don't know how to set up your classroom to make it so that your students are engaged, so that your students are learning, so they're having fun, so that they're socializing. Well, here is a place where teachers can post their classroom designs and get feedback and learn from other teachers. Did I do it?
Woo!
Is that good?
Let's go into a room.
And it's pretty cool too. Okay, so we gotta make this lasting on screen. Hold on. So here we have children in a room playing with jars of water. A common pastime for middle school students. Elementary school students, I assume. So you worked with a lot of these schools to help design these rooms too, right?
Yeah, there was kind of two parallel paths. So we built the platform for teachers for what Seb just described, like sharing and finding designs for your classroom. We actually ran a few competitions called Hack Your Classroom. I think this was one of the submissions actually, where we asked teachers, you know, if we gave you this amount of money, like how would you improve your classroom to help your students learn better? And they submitted all kinds of cool things. Like this one teacher made like these like soft seats out of you know those crates for like milk cartons?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like out of crates and then with like cushions on top. But yeah, there were all these like cool creative things that then we would partner with architecture firms who were designing actual school spaces, but they didn't have access to teachers or students. And so this fed into ideas for them. And then on the actual business side, we work directly with schools. So mostly at the school or district level, sometimes with architects to help them reimagine their spaces. And a lot of that involved like surveying teachers and students, figuring out their needs, and then helping them brainstorm design patterns to suit their space. Oh, this video.
Yeah, this video is amazing,
so
right? I'm like just remembering this now. Can we play it?
Let's play it.
All right, hold on. Oh, the energy. I feel it. I can't
actually hear the music, but I'm imagining.
Yeah. Oh, this is such a good video. Oh my gosh. Did you get this track on Premium Beats? LOL that clip. Yeah, there it is. And there's our guy Ryan.
Glory.
Me and Ryan hung out quite a bit.
Ryan.
What a time.
What is all this hanging out without me?
What, man? I don't know. Ryan, sometimes he just stops by Boston and he's like, hey, Let's.
That's true. I mean, we chat all the time. Okay, this is not a competition, but he went for me.
I'm very like I don't know what the right expression is, but like people query me and then I'll interact with them a lot. Like that's the way I interact with people. Like if you message me, then I'll tell you stuff that's going on, right? Even if you didn't really ask for it. But I like don't stay in touch with people. So my point is, Ryan will like, he'll hit me up and be like, "Hey, what's up?" And then I'll like tell him everything that's up every once in a while, and that kind of creates the thing. That's my mode of operation, I guess.
Yeah. Are you like every once in a while you'll spill all?
Whew, to someone, spill all? Nah, probably if spill all. What spill all? Like go all in on like a particular situation? Probably. I think you've been the spill all before for me, Jane, if I'm not mistaken.
As in you spilling all to me or vice versa?
Me spilling all to you. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I don't think the opposite has happened. I can't think of any like blackmail or incriminating information I have at this time.
Yeah, don't think too hard about that.
But yeah, I've come up to Jane and I've been like, "Jane, this girl has broken my heart, and I don't know what to do."
That has not happened. More so the opposite, but I'll see that.
This girl has my heart. Help me think about this
Help
logically.
me take it back.
Fair enough. Happens as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's try listening to this. I'm gonna turn down the desktop audio because I keep blasting the stream accidentally, so can't hear you for 1 second.
I think for the next episode or like moving forward, I might like insert a clip from the interview at the beginning of the track, just so they don't all start with the music. But anyway.
Oh, I see. Oh, cryogen. All these deep questions. What was the breaking point for Room to Learn? Let's dive right in.
Yeah, I guess I can talk about that. There was a lot. I mean, ultimately it came down to money. We we ended up pivoting into this consultancy business model, which involved a lot of long sales cycles and like literally flying out to different districts across the country and pitching them. And so you like put months of work into an RFP, into one pitch, and if you don't get that, you like invested all that money. So it's really hard for a new startup with like little capital to do that. And so by the time that we realized like, okay, this is the niche we're going into and this is like what we need to do, we realized that one, we were running out of money, and two, that it wasn't actually the type of work we wanted to do. Like we were passionate about helping teachers find solutions to their design problems. And then it became like writing proposals and doing pitches for school board administrators, which is like it's a means to an end. But yeah, probably the bigger thing was like just bad timing. And yeah, I think about it even now because I still have those contacts in the like school design sector. Oh, actually, fun thing. Do you guys want to see? I just got a book chapter published about Room to Learn.
Ooh, yes. Absolutely. Where do I go?
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. I like literally have the
Sweet. Okay, so we're gonna find a section in a book written about Room to Learn.
Yeah, so it's actually a research project that I did with the Room to Learn team, where we were looking at different learning spaces at Harvard. So this is the book.
Teacher transition into innovative learning environments, a global perspective.
Yes. And
there's a whole chapter with Room to Learn in there.
So you can see that. It's called The Creative Learning Spiral.
I don't know if that's going to clear up.
Okay.
But it looks thick. It looks like some dense content. So you wrote the chapter or somebody wrote the chapter about you?
So I wrote the chapter. And there's like different images of the spaces at the Harvard Design School and the Innovation Lab where we worked. And basically, I surveyed students and looked at the spaces and came up with this model of like how to design spaces for creative learning, which I think is pretty cool and still relevant.
These seem like they would
So,
be awesome, but they're all coming in blurred. I think it's because of the filter, but it seems like
no.
there's some really cool diagrams there.
Well, this is available for free online, so I can also
Ooh,
download it.
let's link it up.
Yeah.
Let people do
Um,
this some sleuthing.
yeah. Read it. Let me know what you think.
I just thought of another question for you, Jane. So,
Yeah.
we sort of use our personal brand online. We use our real names, but not everybody does that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever think like maybe I should use an alias? Your sister sort of uses an alias, right? It's very similar to her real name, but it's still kind of an alias.
Yeah. I haven't thought about that actually.
Just never considered it. Just Jane Zhang branding all the way.
I'm trying to think. When I was little, I was obsessed with like trying on different names. Like when I in grade 1, I was like, "Oh, I love the name Melissa and how that sounds." And then in grade 5, it was Tiana and all these things. And I guess like as I've gotten older, I'm just like living Jane. I'm just like in inside my name. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. But I don't know. I maybe if it's like a certain theme, like with Jennifer, like she does DIY projects, so Generation DIY made a lot of sense. If I was doing like, yeah, I don't know. Well, with Room to Learn, it was like all about Room to Learn,
Yeah.
and now, yeah, I guess because like the conversations are so personal, it just like makes sense to use my name.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Another question I have for you is like with the podcast in general, like I guess when and maybe I'll give a personal response to this. Like when I think about live streaming, I think about it as a way of doing like it's almost like I feel like it develops the concept of yourself a little bit, like putting yourself out there and kind of getting feedback from a bunch of people. It kind of lets you develop yourself in a different way, like because people react to what you're doing a lot. And it's not to say people are molding you, but like I don't know. It's kind of this curious thing where you kind of get an opportunity to sort of shape yourself, you know, as you write stuff, as you create stuff, like that becomes like an artifact of you being there. Maybe it reminds you what you are to some extent or something like that. So that's why I think live streaming is kind of cool. At least the parts that you save. More I'm talking about YouTubing because the live streams go away. And especially I have some to delete now because of some aforementioned discussions. But what was there a motivation with the podcasting that's kind of like that? Or like what's the what does it look like? What's the light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, that's a great question. And also, while I'm talking, I just dropped you the link in our Facebook chat
Nice,
because
nice.
I don't want to create a Twitch user right now. Yeah, so the podcast came about very much about the present as opposed to like in the future looking back. Although I would love to build it as a multi platform brand. But yeah, I think it very much came about with like my own being stuck in a rut professionally. And I've done some cool things in life. I've gotten to live in 5 different countries. I've gotten a master's degree from Harvard. I've gotten things published like this. That's really cool and started a business. And right now I'm working for a tech company. And it's interesting. Am I living my dream job? No. Do I have some ideas of what that could look like? Maybe. So there was like that part of it. And then the other part was I have been getting really into podcasts this year.
So it's like, why not participate?
Well, so the thing is, like, I love listening to interview podcasts, but most of them that I found really inspiring were with people that were much older, like they've already peaked in their careers, so to speak.
They've been through it.
They've been through it, and they're a little bit distanced from like people who are like doing it now. And I realized that I love talking to people, and I have a lot of great friends who are doing just like cool things. And I saw an opportunity. I was like, well, why not just like fill that gap for myself? Because also, like, personally, I was missing having these like dinner conversations
Yeah.
and in COVID times. So all these things kind of came together, and I was like, there's great stories around me of like people that I know and respect, and I think a lot of people, like a lot of other people, could benefit from hearing that. So yeah, but yeah, I'm sure like in a few years I'll look back and be like, gosh, I've greatly improved my audio quality.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure there's a million things like that. But it's yeah, I guess there is a little bit of professional learning in there. One thing I'm curious about is I don't know. So like you can tell these stories so that other people hear them. Like people wouldn't have heard a lot of the stories here if nobody did it. I think becoming Black James Bond with the USR I can't remember the full title of it.
Man.
Yeah. Um but that episode, that person probably never would have gone on a podcast. So that story almost certainly wouldn't have been told. But it sounded like you kind of convinced him to come on and share this kind of interesting story.
Yeah, it took a bit of wrangling. That's one thing I'm learning, is that not everyone wants to be a public persona.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, that's trying to be more conscious of that and like go with people who already are doing the work of putting themselves out there.
yeah,
But I was fortunate that he said yes. And, it's just like a lifestyle that's so different from mine. I thought, like, because a lot of my friends are either in academia or work in tech or founders. And this is just like such a different perspective to hear out.
cool. Yeah, makes sense to me. All right, let's see if we can view this. I gotta do a little bit of audio play here. Okay, so I think I hit play and it's gonna go. So I'm gonna mute you for a second on stream just so that I can. I need less audio. So we can do this on Spotify as well. So let's try that. That'll work better. If you're just joining, we are interviewing Jane Zhang of Inside Out with Jane Z, interviewing famous live stream celebrities such as myself and other less important people.
Yes. I mean, no. All my guests are equally important.
Okay. So another thing I'm curious about is like.
Hello, and welcome to Inside
Okay,
Out.
I think I got it.
If you just joined
playing
from
with the
last
audio
week's
levels a little
episode
bit.
with
FYI, I
Generation DIY,
So you'll just
I'm
have to
so
let me
happy
know
you're here.
what the clip was about.
Oh yeah. This is a constant problem with people who come into the Discord chat and they want to watch the live stream but also chat. Yeah. We should have well, afterwards I'll look at that link that somebody posted, something that might take care of this, because it is a big problem. And it seems like live stream interviews are becoming more common as well. They're more authentic, I think, At the same time, we have to be a little bit more gated because we can't accidentally admit to committing a felony or something like that, right? We wouldn't want to do that on a live
Which
stream.
is a real problem for Sev.
Yeah. Oh, big time. But one thing I'm curious about too is like the interesting thing that happened when I started live streaming is there was a lot of mixing of live streamers. And I think that's because within the Twitch science and technology thing, people like watch each other. They all listen to each other. And yeah, there was almost like a support group formed pretty quickly with people who just wanted to create content and kind of like build a presence on the internet, which I thought was really interesting. And it seems like the usual goal is like kind of an independent stream of income. But I'm curious if there's something like that for podcasting, if you found people who are interested in this, or maybe somebody you're doing it alongside of.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a huge community of podcasters. I'm actually part of a few Facebook groups, and there's like thousands of people in there who have like all kinds of different podcasts talking about like random little things or doing interviews. But So I use this tool called Buzzsprout for distribution, and they send a newsletter. And there was a stat the other day that was um, like the number of podcasts out there compared to YouTube channels, I think is like 10%
Oh,
of YouTube channels. So there's like a whole like universe of possibilities and content and all that. So it's a good time to get into podcasting.
yeah.
As far as monetization, there's a pretty like industry standard. I think it was like 15 cents per 1,000 downloads is the advertising rate.
Okay.
And then there's like, you can get creative with all kinds of different business models because once you have the audience, you can do anything with them. But I recently came across this podcast that is like all paid. And so, what are we looking at here?
Get money via podcasts. All right. So you said 15 cents per 1,000, right?
Yeah, for 1,000 downloads.
Okay. Okay. What's a download? When I play it on Spotify, is that a download?
I think that's how it counts it. I'm not sure if it's like you have to play a certain amount of time, but I think it's plays.
Okay. So my episode, which was probably the most famous to date, how many downloads does that have approximately so far? If you can share, is that weird to share? Is that like calling out like a PhD on like where they are in their thesis?
I can tell you if you want to know, but
not live. It is a private number.
No. I can tell you. You just might not be happy with how it compares to
Jen's.
Yeah.
Jen, an actually famous person?
Yeah. You're not doing that bad. It's only day 2.
Okay, day 2. How many downloads?
You're at 71.
Oh, that's much better than I thought. Yeah, let's go.
Know how many Jennifer has?
How many does Jen have?
She has 789.
Ooh, okay. All right, hold on. Jen downloads 789. For people who just joined, Jen is a famous YouTuber who happens to be Jane's sister and also was on our podcast. And it was a pretty good episode. I really enjoyed it. I don't know. It's like it's not the fact that okay, so I don't know. I feel like I'm describing this in a weird way, but I didn't get Jen's content. Like I would watch it and I was like, I don't really get it. And then after I listened to her, I was like, oh, like it was so relatable. Like one thing was she was fixing toilets. And like if you like DIY, like some people, you know how some people like maybe like things, but then like if you actually like something, then you do the weird parts, right? And so like when she was talking about fixing toilets, I was like, oh, like she actually likes DIY, like actually likes fixing things and stuff like that. It's just interesting to hear about somebody who like has fame, but is also very introverted.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's so introverted. She's gotten a bit better over time, but like most of her days, like she said, was just like her in her room, and she sees like our parents and our brother, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And then the craziest thing to me too was also like I got this very strong like big sister vibe. Like and it didn't matter. Like there was no the status that other people would see. It's just not there from my perspective. Like
that's so funny.
Between your relationship.
What made you think that? Was there a moment?
What made me think what?
What made you like think of the big sister vibe?
It was just like it was the way, I don't know. There must have been moments. We should almost like look at it, but there were moments where you were like, well, I guess I'm proud of you. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Stuff like that, like a reluctant admission that like you're an okay person. Like that's like it wouldn't matter what was done. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, we're like, we came from the same womb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because someone else made that comment too. So I was just curious.
Okay, so let's see how much money Jen has made you. Now, how much of the royalties?
Well, I haven't monetized anything.
You haven't monetized it?
I'm
There's
not
no ads?
it. No. Have you listened to this? Oh my god.
by my calculations, Jen has. Wait a second. This can't be right.
We haven't hit 1,000. Well, no, in total, I have about 1,500 downloads.
Oh, I have to divide by 1,000. Hold on. Okay, so Jen would have made you 11 cents or 12 cents.
Amazing.
Some big numbers.
Big numbers.
Yeah, so on Twitch and I guess just on Twitch, they like let you be an affiliate and get like subscribers and get paid or whatever, or you can stream to other platforms. That's basically the deal. You're Twitch exclusive and you can only make money on Twitch, or you can go on to other platforms but you don't get certain Twitch features. You can't get anybody to pay you or donate to you, etc. And I think what is tricky to understand for people who are starting out, I'm guessing, right? Because for me, this like took a second. I'm wondering why all these live streamers around me are getting affiliated and getting like $5 or $100 a month, right? Because at the beginning, I feel like you would need to maximize growth. If you try to monetize too early, that's going to be really dangerous for your overall growth. You know, like if you slapped a bunch of ads on this, that would probably not be in your best interest. It wouldn't be worth the $2.
It's just not worth the investment, right?
Right.
Like, why would I dilute my content to like make 10 cents?
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, let's let's look at some completely random clips from this. I'm going to be looking at the audio levels. Hopefully they're okay.
Each week I interview someone who inspires me about their life story.
All right.
So make sure you
random
subscribe
clip.
for
If you
new
want,
stories
Jane,
every
you can
Tuesday.
mute me
Today's
on the
episode
Google
was
Hangout.
actually the first interview recording I
And then
did,
listen to the stream,
and
we'll
with
listen
my
to like
good
10
friend,
seconds
Sevi
of it.
Ibar. Sev is like the golden retriever of startup founders. He's
I
always
lost you.
excited about something
Okay.
and always down to try something
Okay,
new.
random
So having
segment.
this
Here we go.
conversation was
Does not have labels, or it's messy and it needs cleaned
Okay, that's
up.
me describing my
Stuff to
startup.
do
Boring.
is try to bounce radio signals off the moon and then have it bounce back to Earth, and so you can
What
talk
were we
to
talking about?
and then you went to school for software engineering.
Yes, sort of.
A little bit of background, a little bit of
Computer
history
engineering.
on the old Sev.
Okay, what's the difference?
Colleges from a list of the best colleges in the United States and just applied to all of them.
Wow.
And yeah, and it was
that sounds
crazy.
expensive.
It's like as people are labeling the data, a machine learning model learns and starts to help you. So if we were labeling, again, let's say we're looking at, a field full of plums.
Okay. All right. So what just happened?
Hear me?
Yeah. Jane doesn't. So we just went over a lot of things there. How could we sum this up?
Wait,
This
there's
is
so
some
many different
amazing
audio
podcast
right.
commentary. Oh my gosh, Cryoji, I know. I don't know how to run a commentary. Should we listen to more? Should I listen to longer segments? Admittedly, I should have planned this out a little bit more. Okay, all right. Like, you know what? Let's try it again. This time, we'll listen to a 20-second sample, and we'll get more time to analyze. And we'll throw Jane less on the spot.
Okay.
What just happened? I think Cryoji was answering what just happened.
Okay, so here's my question though: is like, have you seriously thought about like going to work for someone, and if not, why not?
Well, I went and I've worked for some pretty big companies.
Huge.
I just felt the whole time
Massive
that
companies.
I wasn't moving as fast as I could. I wasn't learning, and that
Now, this is a great stopping point because Jane disagrees with me here. And so do many people on the dating platforms that I'm on. They say stability is a great thing, right? So Jane, what is at the center of this debate here, right? The big company, small company. What where's why is there so much tension between us on this particular point? We really go into it in the podcast. We really get heated. But what's the core? What's the root of the debate?
Well, there's two things here. You just brought up dating, which is relevant because it is very much gendered. That's a whole other topic if we want to go down that.
Wait, what's
rabbit hole.
gendered?
Like the need for stability.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I like how people on dating apps get pragmatic about dating. You know what I mean? There's like a ruthless pragmatic, and like it's like nothing about, like everything is just on the table, and they're very clear about all of these points. You know what I mean? And like they're like, yeah, I need stability because I want a family in 4 years, right? I think that's what you're talking about, right?
How old are these women that you're talking to?
25-ish.
Okay.
23
to, fair,
to 29.
I had a similar like mental calendar in my brain or timeline. I was like, I have 5 years to copulate, which means 3 years to fall in love, which means 2 years to date, which means like I need to find someone now. That wasn't all the.
Have you ever heard of the secretary problem?
No.
It's also called the marriage problem. The secretary problem is like the more offensive way to refer to it. I think that's like what it originally was called in the paper, but then they're like, wait a second, we shouldn't call it that. But the Wikipedia page still says secretary problem. But it's how to pick a secretary. And it's about optimal stopping. And I think everyone dating should know about optimal stopping.
Is that the 37% theory?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hannah Fry.
Hannah Fry. Who's Hannah Fry?
Yeah, she's the one that wrote about it.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. But of course, there's a lot of pragmatic stuff to it. And during COVID, you got to make sure it's the right person because you can't be messing around with just anybody.
Truth. Yeah, there's a lot of quarantining rules. The testing has gotten more complicated. It was pretty normal when dating before. I'm gonna get an STD test, right? That was something that people would ask to do, right?
Yeah.
That's common, right? Or is it just me? Is there a look about me where they're asking me specifically, or?
Yeah, sorry, Seb, I can't help you out there. I don't think anybody else has been asked for that.
But now you also have to deal with the coronavirus test.
Yeah. So you got double tests. Cryogy, you can relate.
Yeah, I guess we didn't explain this. Jack's asking, what is the secretary problem, or the marriage problem, or the 37% problem? Do you have like maybe you could explain it, because I'm curious how you would.
Yeah, so 37% is like how you're how to explain this. It's like you have like a pool of people you're going to date in your whole dating life. Your first 37% is kind of like experimental. You're just playing the field. And then after you've like dated that many people, then the next person that comes along that's better than the average of all the previous people is the person that you would settle down with.
Yeah. And if you run it that way, you have a really good chance of meeting someone really good, basically. It also assumes you can like objectively evaluate people and that you're not changing, and there's like some minor things. But it's kind of it's an okay rule of thumb. It matches the intuition for when you've started to wait too long. It's like, okay, I don't really have time to date too many more people. So it's kind of a useful theory to know.
It just gets inconvenient to like always be on the apps or on the prowl.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. It does. I mean, even when you're in a relationship, it takes a lot of time. But ideally, that's time you want to spend with the person.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, back to your original question of like why I asked you about that is because I've seen a lot of people who like, especially for the like pragmatic life reasons, they burn out of startup life after a certain period of time. Maybe it's they get married, maybe they have kids, maybe they have a mortgage, they can't not pay. And so they go back to corporate or like, working for someone else so that they can just put food on the table.
Yeah.
And for you, I mean, I guess you're lucky in that you're still early mid-20s and like you have the freedom to like keep experimenting and keep exploring. But I guess I was trying to get at like, have you felt that need to like be like adult or whatever you want to call it?
Be an adult? Whoa. Yeah, I could call it a couple of things. Other than that, I don't know.
Adulting. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah.
I don't know. Have to answer.
No, I'm trying to think about it.
But I mean, it's not so relevant for you right now because one, you are making money and like your startup's doing relatively well, and two, because you're like, like young and single and you don't have like many big expenses.
Jane, do you ever like look at yourself in the mirror and you think, wow, that is one good looking guy? You know what I mean? Every morning, every morning, I think that, right? I'm looking at myself, I'm going, wow, this is an absolute stud. And then I think, you know what? In 3 years, who knows? Maybe I'll start developing wrinkles.
Is this why you're live streaming?
What? For attention?
That too, but like as a time capsule before you get too wrinkly.
Well, maybe. I want people to remember when I had hair.
You will have hair for at least another 6 months.
For at least, yeah, I believe that's true. I believe that's true.
I believe in your scalp health.
I don't know.
Should we?
Live stream interaction is fun. I don't know that much. I actually feel like I know less right now than I normally do, like projecting in the future, because stuff is just so random. Coronavirus happened and it really like changed the way that I wanted to interact with things. Like, because I thought, for example, it would be fun. Like I was literally planning, I think I told you, I was talking with a friend to buy a farm. And
oh yeah.
Yeah. And then, but I was like, oh, I can't move away from Boston. Like there's so much happening and there's so many people here and there's so much networking. And then coronavirus happened and nobody's doing networking in the traditional physical sense. People are leaving San Francisco. Location starts to matter less. And all of a sudden I'm like, wait, that seems like more feasible. Maybe I should have acted on some of these things we were talking about. So it's made me feel very uncertain about planning in general. I feel like I'm kind of reverting back into like an educational phase where I need to understand things more so that I can act on opportunities if they come up. And it's happened a couple times where like I think I could have made better use of certain opportunities that have come up, especially with coronavirus. Like I renewed my lease in September, but there was whispers of coronavirus in September. And especially I followed Balaji, this investor who sounded the alarm on coronavirus really, really early on Twitter. So I kind of knew about it. But I still ended up paying a bunch of money to live somewhere that became basically the same as anywhere else. So I don't know. I think my read on opportunities hasn't been as good. So I need to get smarter about it. And I think one way to do that, somehow I feel that you can do that somehow with live streaming. But not 100% sure.
What's the thinking there?
Well, I don't know. It's like you go, if you're recording yourself doing anything, it's like if you are observing yourself, you get a better sense of what's going on, and maybe I'll stop saying you. When I record myself, before I was live streaming, I was recording myself working because I was curious about the way I worked. And even before I started live streaming as well, I had a camera set up in my room to record me in my room like every day, 24 hours a day, because I was just curious, like observing myself. What am I doing that puts me, for example, that makes me anxious or something like that? What are the patterns that I'm not seeing that I can't observe because they're just not conscious? And so I think live streaming helps you identify that. One thing is, you can't really observe yourself interacting with other people. It's very difficult. So all these recorded videos essentially give you an opportunity to do that, and with a lot of people as well. So it's, I don't know. That's kind of the appeal for me right now, but it could change. I'm also curious about how to grow and stuff like that. Yeah, but now you're talking out loud.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with Cryogy. I think it's a good way of like building self-awareness to understand how you work, how you like present to others, and to like talk out loud with other people listening. Maybe bounce ideas, but like, wouldn't you want to just like do more research?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. So,
But I'm not saying no to your live streaming. I think that's a great idea.
it's like,
see how it ties into like good investment strategy.
yeah. I mean, it's weird. So yesterday, like, for example, I wrote, oh, I'll do a 24-hour stream, which was a lie because I only ran for 10 hours. I didn't commit to it. It was a lie, yeah. I didn't know it was a lie at the time, but it was a lie. And then people like reacted like negatively, right? And isn't that kind of like, that's kind of an observation. You're so close to your audience in some sense. You're very close to your audience with this thing, because somebody's going to say the uncomfortable thought, right? Like in every live stream, there'll be one thing that really ticks the live streamer off, and then they're like upset, right? And so what are these unspoken things? I don't know. Crazy? Make any sense? I don't know. But do you get any of that with podcasting? I don't know. Have you got any reviews yet? Any like reactions? You suck at coding stuff. Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, well, I've gotten a lot of just like positive reviews, which is great. One friend, actually, this was a little bit stressful. That first week, I hadn't budgeted like time and energy for feedback and responses. And like I said, 99% was like totally positive. So it was just like different ways of saying thank you. But there was, I mean, a few of them were in depth. Like when we talked about like Title IX and stuff, we had that long conversation. You made the diagram. Like that was interesting. That was cool. Another friend reached out and
wait. We brushed right over that. What were we talking about? Title IX.
Yeah, remember we were talking about consent and what's appropriate, and you were like, oh, like okay patty cake land and not okay patty cake land.
Yeah. So it was like but what was the diagram for? I can't even remember the details. It was like,
it was around consent.
It was around like, the ambiguity in sexual harassment, I think, right?
Yeah.
And how context determines, like, changes the ambiguity of it. Do you have the image of it? We can pull this up. But people should know that this is really stupid because I just came up with this. It shouldn't be taken seriously. Dang it. Oh, yeah, I think I have it. I think I can pull it up on stream. Okay. So this is something that, like, guys, I don't know anything about this, right? So this was the framework. This is the SEVI framework, which again could be very, very wrong about ambiguity with sexual harassment. Jane, can you break this down for us? Because I don't really remember too many of the details here.
Sure. So you have this spectrum, right, where the green is like okay land, so consensual patty cake, whatever that includes. And then on the right, there's fucked up land, so non-consensual patty cake. And then in between, there's all this like uncomfortable land, as you call it. So examples you gave are like shoulder touching or compliments. And there's this line that moves depending on, well, you think the factors are number of times, context, professional versus gym, for example.
Yeah.
Or power
which isn't
display.
Totally great. Yeah.
So
so shoulder touching is sometimes okay, right? Like even if you're not like with like shoulder touching is sometimes right. Shoulder touching is sometimes okay.
It's about like the act itself. Like it's more about the situation and who they are. And
right. So that changes the line, right? I think like I could be wrong. So I think like this is the problem with like and by the way, guys, this was based on Jane's episode 1, where she talked to somebody who went through a situation where it was, first of all, not ambiguous. We should probably say, but it was bad, right? You had you had power disparity, you had weird moves, you had many people who it happened to, and so, but it got this kind of conversation started about, do people have a mental framework for talking about this kind of thing? And I was like, this is kind of like what I think in my head. Like the context kind of moves this line around and changes things. So shoulder touching is like, okay, like if it's hard to think of.
That's not what it was. It was like a professor crossed a line with a student, and it was like things
Right.
that happened multiple times that escalated.
Yeah.
And she was like gonna confront him, but in doing so, she would have given up her whole career as an astronomer. Luckily, what happened was someone else who had witnessed him harassing other people, who was in a higher power position, like either a grad student or a professor, she confronted that professor and he backed off of Sarah, who was the interviewee. And then later on, it came out that like he had harassed a bunch of other people. And so it was like a very long and calculated decision, but she decided to come out as a named complainant. And then there was a BuzzFeed article that came out about it, and she took part in that, and it became this whole thing. And there was a lot of backlash. There was a lot of like positive feedback and negative, because it's such a like charged, emotionally charged thing, right?
Yeah, and she said people came up to her and said what she was doing was wrong, right? Like people were like, what you're doing to this professor is wrong. But right. But he was removed. Like they had an independent group. It was some independent group remove him, right? Or ask him to step down.
Well, what's fucked up is that after that Title IX investigation, they basically just gave him a slap on the wrist and was like,
right,
just don't do it again.
Yeah.
And then I think like as the story grew more public later on, he like the official term is he retired, but I think he was like asked to leave.
Right.
And now, that whole story is on his Wikipedia page. But I mean, he's still like getting paid his pension, and he like gets to say he retired. So I don't know if like justice was served per se, but something was done.
Yeah. And like in that case, I mean, well, that diagram's not very relevant for that case, because they did everything in a process that made a lot of sense to me. Like they put together some kind of, it was like an independent kind of court thing. I don't know how to describe it, right? So a Title IX is a real court system, right? But then the school also had like an internal review committee, right? And so they have guidelines and criteria and stuff. So they have a good criteria to evaluate these things. But I was like, what are these criterias? Because compliments, okay, so shoulder touching is kind of dumb. Shoulder touching you really can't get away with in 2020. I think shoulder touching is kind of done and away with. Although like a guy can shoulder touch a guy, right? So that's where, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, it's like context. Like if we're working side by side and we're peers and we're friends, and I'm like Jane, and I just like,
that's okay.
Yeah. Like, I don't imagine you being like, oh my God, like,
yeah,
that was,
I like really,
exactly.
What
Cryogy's the problem is nuance and perceived intent.
Right. Perceived intent is definitely a problem, but intent is harder to measure. Quick pat on the head.
Love that.
It's a good way to go about
it. Once we go back.
That's a good
I do have to say, I'm having a lot of fun, but I do have to leave in probably about 5 minutes.
Hard stop. Okay. Yeah. No problem. Well, oh my gosh, closing topics. That is a big deal. We want all of the 6 people here to run over to Inside Out by Jane on Apple Podcasts and let me show them how to do it. Let's do. Okay, so how do I leave a review?
So you scroll down on the go to more episodes.
Invigorating. Guys, this is my review. Can I read this?
Yeah, please.
Invigorating.
It's a great. It's
Jane
one of my
captures the
favorites.
mind and agitates your sinuses. That's like make you cry, right? With friendly
Oh,
and
that's what you meant.
what with intimate interviews with rising stars and interesting minds from her adventures around the world, with people spanning anything from entrepreneurship to academia to live stream celebrities. Each episode
That's you,
feels like a
right?
dive into the unique experience of a create and undeterred protagonist. That last line's pretty good, right? That's a kick-ass review. So that's what I need from you guys. Get out there, write a review that beats that. I will give 10 Sev to anyone who writes a better review than that. Can I do that? That's probably legal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Wait, you have your own coin now?
Yeah, you want to see it?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. How do I get some Sev? How do
I'll
I
give
get
you some.
Sev? Okay.
I'll give you some Sev right now.
What can I buy?
I don't know. I don't think I set up anything. You literally have 10 million. Yeah, I have a lot of 7. I don't know what to do with them. I don't know. It's like it seems like I need to set up some system. Okay, anyway. Jane, are you on tryroll.com?
No, I'm not.
You're not on tryroll.com? How can I
No.
send you? I could actually type in your email, but I don't want to expose your email on stream. So
Right.
anyway, you can get some Sev later. But yeah,
Okay.
that's a
But tell me, what
cryptocurrency.
can I buy?
How much can you buy?
Or what can I buy with Sevcoin?
I don't know. So I have to set up rewards on this site for this to
Ooh.
work. And I have not done it. I don't know what I'm doing with any web interface ever. New rewards, right? So like ask me anything, paywall. I need to think of something really, really good. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you can appear on the live stream. I don't know.
Ooh, that's cool.
Sevcoin can buy you mod corruption provided by me. Sounds right.
I will say one thing is I love how dedicated your audience is. Like you don't have a giant following, but your streaming audience loves you.
Hear that, fans?
I think
Hear that?
that's
They're
my
the
read
best.
on it.
Yes, they're so nice to me all the time. And that's
Yeah,
what's
I
important.
heard a great line the other day. Do you know Ty Haney? She is/was the founder of Outdoor Voices, the clothing brand. Trust me, I don't. But she was on a podcast last year, and she said she was like, what was it? Like, she was like, I love being obsessed with people, or like it's. That just sounds really Valley Girl, but like being obsessed with something or someone is great because it makes you appreciate, or it makes you practice appreciation and gratefulness. I'm
Interesting.
like, that's so cool. I'm like, yes,
Interesting.
I am obsessed.
I guess that's true. I guess there are some live streamers I follow that might fall into that bucket. I don't know about obsessed. The thing is nobody makes content fast enough. You know what I mean? I like watch all their YouTube stuff and then I'm done and then I'm
All of
hopeless.
it?
I'm
What
alone.
about David Dobrik? Have you watched all of his?
Who's I think I've been told about this person.
Yeah, probably Ethan, but he spent like all of this summer watching them. It's
Come
like
on, it
thousands.
was like
David Dobrik.
No, it was like several weeks.
18.6 million subscribers.
Yeah, he's one of the big ones.
We can't believe
That's a
this
lot of
happened. Oh yeah.
It's very baity, but it's kind of.
I wanted to bring you guys here to
sitcom of like Gen Z type,
That's cool.
like a vlog house.
I dig it.
Yeah.
All right, Jane. Do you want to do
Alright,
your
Seb.
sign off?
Sure. Yeah, well, you guys definitely check out Inside Out with Jane Z on all podcast platforms. Give me a rating, review, and if you want to chat, you can find me on Instagram either at Jane Z with 3 Y's or on the podcast. Actually, yeah, even better on the podcast handle at Inside Out with Jane.
Well, that
let me know
that
what
is a
you guys
lot
think.
to follow. Hold on. Okay, so we've
Okay.
got it. Hold on. Instagram, is that right?
Yeah, Instagram.
Okay. How do okay, so Instagram.
Okay, just remember the name Inside Out with Jane. I'm on all podcasts and on Instagram.
Okay, Inside Out with Jane Z, right?
I think it's just Jane on Instagram.
But it doesn't pop up on Google.
Oh,
Jane, we're not
yeah,
famous
you
enough
Google.
yet.
Yeah, include the Z on Google, but not on Instagram.
Boom, there it is. Now we're talking. There's the pod link. Throw some
There it
reviews.
is.
Jane, thanks for joining me.
Also, do you want to drop this? You should drop the short link for your episode in the chat.
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely do that. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Okay. You gave me this. I prepared
Yeah,
for
I
this.
gave you this. I know.
Jane, do you have a
we should be
subreddit yet?
prepared. No.
When are you making that?
When are you making one?
Oh, I already have one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see it.
Pretty cool, right? I have 3 members.
That's cool. Wow. You're so cool. Hey, everybody, what's up?
Okay, Jane's
He
link.
talked himself in it.
I think I'm the
Alright.
only one. I think one other person posted something. All right. Jane's the link to the podcast episode with me is in the chat on Twitch if you want to join it. I will send out the link to Jane's subreddit whenever she gets around to making that. Yeah, but thanks for coming, Jane.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Thanks for hanging out, guys. See you later.
Cool. Guys, Jane is the bomb. I am very happy she joined us for that time. We worked together in startups. It was super fun. While we were doing stuff, making money. So yeah. It was good to have her on. That was a fun episode to do. Kind of goes into history. Bay Jane, yes. I think so. Yeah, it's a fun episode. And the ones before that, like, you guys have already heard enough from me. You know my background. You know where I came from. We're from the same place. But the ones before that are really, really interesting. And Jane is quite a character herself. I'm very much looking forward to the episode with her because, as she said, she's lived in a bunch of places and done a bunch of stuff just from being a cool person. If you're really cool, people are like, hey, yo, let's like do a venture capital firm and stuff like that. Good stream to listen to while learning SaaS. My favorite part was when I was like, okay, Jane, what just happened? You know, I actually love putting people on the spot like that. It's like my most sadistic quality. So I enjoyed that a little bit. Although I think later she's going to be maybe a little bit upset at my poor planning. But that's what you come here for. You don't come here for the planned content, probably. That would be weird. That'd be definitely weird if you came here for planned content, right? You come here for the felonies. Speaking of felonies, I should definitely delete that VOD. I think the word you're looking for is fourth. I don't know what that means. Fourth. This was the least scripted thing I've... Oh my god. Okay. Not appropriate. I don't think it could be because there would have to be... All right, you know what, guys? Let's look into it. Let's find out. Recording phone calls. Law. Today we find out. Was it a felony? If you plan to record telephone calls or in-person conversations, including recording video that captures sound, you should be aware that there are federal and state wiretapping laws that may limit your ability to do so. Okay. From a legal standpoint, the most important question in the recording context is whether you got consent from one or all of the parties to a phone call before recording it. Federal law and many state wiretapping statutes permit recording if one party, including you, to the phone call or conversation consents. Other states require that all parties to the communication consent. Yeah, so that's the thing, is it would depend on the state. Unfortunately, it's not always easy to tell. And it also depends on, like, the state. A state can disallow it, another state can allow it, but if the state disallows it, right? Yeah, so what are the one-party states? Oh, wouldn't you guys like to know? One-party state, and then China comes up. One-party wiretap states. Why do you guys care? You're not going to be able to pinpoint this location. You would need so much information. We know it's Utah. All right, this Utah thing has been going around for so long. I think it's pretty funny. It is not Utah. I might have been joking around, and I might have said it was Utah, but I was joshing you. It's not Utah. I gotta check my system space real quick because I think I'm about to run out of space. Let's do a quick Docker prune. It's a quick way to clean up some space. All right, what are the states? Serious felony. Jail time. Err on the side of caution and don't record it. Okay, interesting. Be open and honest. Listen carefully. Don't mumble. Don't eat. What? Why is this in here? Wow, Ira got no space back. I think I have enough space for this VOD. Sev is a gold miner. True that. So if both are recording with no consent, then maybe it's legal in one state, I think. Transcribing a recorded conversation. Once you've recorded a conversation, how do you transcribe it? I'm going to send a quick thank you to Jane. You know what, though, guys? Man, that's what I miss, is people just being awkward, you know? Like, not her, me, mostly, but, like, you know, those, it's like, that's the spice of life, you know? Failure, awkwardness, it's the spice of life. All right, telephone, blah, 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 blah. This is complicated, guys. Nobody's going to be able to figure this out. Okay, one-party consent states. Let's see. Is Utah in here? Utah. There we go, boys. Utah. Two-party. I just saw something kind of interesting. So I'm normally from Boston. I see this public location exception. Guys, is live streaming a public location? Could this be a landmark court case? Jane's messaging me. She's like, sorry for pausing after that question. I didn't know if you wanted to answer. And I was like, yeah. Oh, best interviewer. Chef's kiss. Are you receiving messages? I thought it was me. Can I do it in the UK? Yeah, he is. I am receiving messages. I should probably turn that off, huh? It's probably really loud too. So I had to crank Jane's audio up. There was something weird going on. Which is, if we were using Zoom, it wouldn't have been a problem. Okay, so sorry guys, that was cranked. That is less cranked now. And we can actually get a little bit of music going just to keep the pacing here. Jane has said your fans are dope, everybody. So cheers to that. She thinks you're dope. So go give her a 10 out of 10 on Apple Podcasts. Guys, I do think Jane will be a big deal, though. If you think I'm going to be a big deal, which you probably shouldn't because, you know, it's unlikely. Jane will be 10 times bigger easily. Definitely. Yeah. She, everyone, like, everyone gets like she's a very helpful person and very nice. Let's go, best fans. We'll just do lo-fi. Ooh, too loud. I think that was a lot of brain computation for me to talk to someone who wasn't Jack. Jack is like no problem. Do that every day. But that was a lot. So I think I might do Advent of Code to kind of, you know, get the system, calm the system. 10x bigger than you is an insult to Jane. True that. No, honestly. Yeah. And Jane is one of these people where, like, I'm kind of this person, but Jane more so. Like, we had, like, some unfortunate, I think, initial startup stuff happen. And as a result, we ended up, like, they didn't take off. But, you know, it would have been totally different if things had played out just a little bit different, you know. Because her startup was great. She had contracts and everything, but guys, there's so many things that can go wrong with contracts, so, or startups, so. And that's a really big deal that she's shutting hers down too. That's like really hard to do. So, it's easy to leave it running and pretend it's real. That's the truth. Oh, I forgot we were reading this. I don't know if I'm gonna get back into this, but I have to do it all for a YouTube video. Maybe I'll record it later. But I don't know, this is pretty thick content. I am curious about a couple things. Because, guys, I want to buy a camera. You got to know these things to buy a camera, right? Am I right? You can't just go off and buy a camera. Unless you're buying a GoPro, maybe. Okay, let's get out of the just chatting category. Oh, my category was wrong. Okay. Software development, web development. All right, that's good enough. We're going to say Advent of Code. Wow, guys, I don't know about you, but lo-fi beats, they just calm me down. I'm all about it. You know, honestly, I really like narrating these things because I think I'm learning. Because I have to go through it so slow that I think I learned something. The problem is I don't know if the viewer is. How long did it take me to do it last night? Good question. Let's find out. Personal stats. I think it took me 40 minutes. 20 minutes for part 1, 20 minutes for part 2. Podcasting is a huge sea to fish in. It's entertainment, and that's fickle. Yeah, I mean, it's because it's entertainment, it's fickle. I mean, live streaming still basically is categorized under entertainment, so this is also fickle. If you're saying this is fickle too, live streaming is more fickle, I think, because live streamers, they're doing like they try to make money off subs. That means you have to provide value monthly, right? If you go offline for a month, you're gonna lose half your subs or more, you know, depending on how they did it. While you consider checking the in-flight menu for one of those drinks that comes to you with a little umbrella, you are interrupted by the kid sitting next to you. Yeah, you basically, yeah, if you're a professional live streamer, you probably are doing it, you probably want to be thinking about doing it daily. Because if you actually have to take time off, I mean, that's why you see, if you look at like Peter Park TV Live, is that Says handle. Nope. Hold on, let me try again. Peter Park TV. Yeah. Okay. So like if he goes offline. Maybe he was streaming here, but like if you notice, they'll actually apologize. Wow, he tweets a lot, so it's kind of hard to find it, but I think okay. Yeah. So like they'll report if they're not going online, right? 3 days. I'll be back soon. I don't know. So he took 5 days off, and it's like big. You have responsibilities to your subs / viewers. Yeah. I mean, they're paying you, so yeah. But that it's like it's a little bit weird, right? Just live streaming in particular, because everybody is bound by the same time period. So if you look at Michael Reeves, right? Michael Reeves really he was making robots like every 2-3 months. He posted YouTube videos very infrequently. He only has like maybe 20 videos on his channel, and he has like maybe 3 million subscribers. It's crazy. So, and his content is kind of timeless too. So he shouldn't be held to that monthly thing, but with live streamers, they're all held to the same monthly thing, right? So it's a little bit weird, unless you make your money off ads. But yeah, I totally agree. If somebody's subbing to you, then yeah, probably you gotta treat it like it's that kind of job. Okay, dark mode evidently doesn't work, which is a shame. So everybody's eyeballs are gonna have to burn. I thought we got this working before. I don't know. Just a little silence, guys. Nothing wrong with it. Wonder what this link goes to. Handheld game console. To a Wikipedia page? What? Why? They always do this. Every year, Advent of Code makes you build a computer. I'm wearing shades anyway because of the pale complexion. Why would you need shades for a pale complexion, Cryogy? You can also get sponsors live streaming. Yeah, that's true. If you go offline for a month, I'm going to assume the worst. Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird. Guys, I don't think I'll ever take, I'll sell a product, but I wouldn't take money. I wouldn't take money as an entertainer, but I would sell products, and I would like build a product on stream. But I don't think it's just, for me, it's like, it's weird. It's weird. I don't see myself as an entertainer. I think that's going to be a problem with professional live streamers. Like, a lot of them will be cool people. They'll be great to learn from or great to watch and just like kind of have as a coworker. But I don't think they're going to be, it would be weird if they were entertainers in some sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Are you going to sell a multi-level marketing scheme? Yes. Have you not heard of the ones that I'm already running? Oh, it's doggy hunger time. That's why she's doing this. Stop. Let me be. Let me talk to my friends. Wow, rollers. What a burn. Did you guys hear her cry and then kind of walk away? Here's one with all kinds of buzzwords. Quibi tech. Ooh, Quibi. Yeah, Quibi didn't take off for some reason. Wrong time. Quibi went under, I think, right before coronavirus happened. And if they had stayed alive, they might have been okay with coronavirus, I think. Although they were supposed to be like an app for commuting, I guess. So that's a little weird. Have you guys ever heard about all the Jack Sparrows in Quibi? It was trending on Twitter the other day. It's really stupid. Supposedly they tried to have a show where it was you had to do Jack Sparrow impersonations, and whoever held out the longest won. And so they had all these Jack Sparrow impersonators in the same house, and it got pretty crazy. Quibi Tech is a Bitcoin quantum trading platform, but just a Ponzi scheme. That's about right. Almost all Bitcoin is until Bitcoin actually does something, you know. Right now it's like a hedge against the US dollar in theory, but not really. If you guys remember when coronavirus happened, people thought that cryptocurrency would be a hedge against the US dollar, but then it went down at the same time. Yeah. So I don't know if it went down by the same amount though, so it might have been like a partial hedge. I don't know. Jump +4, so we go 4 lines down, presumably 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fourth instruction, 3, 4. Accumulator +1, we go to the next line, 5, jump -4. So we go down to 1, 2, 3, 4. Execute 6 after 5. Accumulator +3, jump -3, we go back here. Accumulator +1, 8. And then we go to jump +4. That would be an infinite loop, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's an infinite loop. Oh, this is an infinite loop. With this sequence of jumps, the program will run forever. The moment the program tries to run any instructions a second time, you know it will never terminate. Immediately before the program would run an instruction a second time, the value in the accumulator is 5. Run your copy of the boot code. Immediately before any instruction is executed a second time, what value is in the accumulator? Easy. Wow. The fact that Jane messaged me after and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you wanted me to respond," just shows how good of a soul she was. She didn't even blame me. Ugh. What a good soul. Okay, we're gonna say instructions is equal to ex.split on new line. A lot of people told me they stopped doing advent of code. They said that the problems were kind of redundant. So get your input. Where? What are you talking about? Whoops. Can I get a job at GitHub if I do all of these? It seems like, because they advertise on the side here. Yeah, I don't need the input. Not yet. I still got to do the example. Make sure the example's right. We got to parse the instructions. We'll say instruction. Parent? Oh, you're hungry. She's hungry, guys. I gotta feed my doggy. Yeah, you need to be fed. Let's do part 1, and then I'll feed doggy. Ooh. I might not be able to finish part 1 before this dog eats me. Oh my god. Oh. The thing you're not seeing is she has claws. I know, Doki. I know. Arrgh. Barf. Oh, all right. We're so close. We're so close, Dogi. All right, guys. I am gonna patch up. Let's see if there's somebody we can raid. Because this Dogi would like to be fed. And you know what? I'd like to be fed as well. Ooh, should we raid Ludwig? No. I'm not that much of a simp. That would be crazy simpish. See ya, Jack. Thanks for joining. Thanks for also co-hosting for a little while. Jane could never replace you. We're gonna sort by low to high. Guys, help me earn some clout. Stream earlier like tonight in the future. I will certainly try to. Yeah, I don't know my schedule yet because I'm still traveling. But, yeah. Roblox? No, thank you. Game dev? Nah. Raid the second guy. The Roblox guy? In French? Travels in COVID times. Yeah. Look, judge all you want. Judge me not for my travel during COVID. Judge me not for my felonies. Judge me not for my personality. And during interviews with friends. Judge me for this cute puppy. This innocent puppy. Huh? We need to find someone. Someone who will give me points. I need to get Yes, I know. Yeah. I know. Gosh darn it. Do I have anybody I know online? Somebody who will appreciate me? Alright, we're gonna do CM Griffin. Sorry, I didn't see anybody. Roblox guy.
Why do you come here? For fun? Looking for a shock to the system?
Oh, guys, that's Keanu Reeves in a Cyberpunk ad on Twitch. That's the first well-placed ad I've ever seen. Okay, raid CM Griffin. All right. He's a GG. If he acknowledges me, I'll be a happy creature. All right, guys, enjoy. I gotta feed this dog. Thanks for joining me. Definitely give Inside Out a look if you listen to podcasts because it's very fun. But I will see you guys later. Thank you so much.